The assembly will now come to order. The chief clerk will call the roll.
Assemblywoman Anderson. Assemblywoman Backus. Assemblywoman Bilbray Axelrod. Assemblywoman Brown May. Assemblyman Carter. Assemblywoman Cohen. Assemblywoman Considine. Assemblyman DeLong. Assemblywoman Dickman. Assemblyman De Silva. Assemblywoman Duran. Assemblywoman Gallant. Assemblywoman Gonzalez. Assemblywoman Gorlow. Assemblyman Gray. Assemblyman Gurr. Assemblyman Hafen. Assemblywoman Hanson. Assemblywoman Hardy. Assemblyman Hibbets. Assemblywoman Howdigy. Assemblywoman Kasama. Assemblyman Koenig. Assemblywoman LaRue Hatch. Assemblywoman Marzola. Assemblyman MacArthur. Assemblywoman Brittany Miller. Assemblyman C.H. Miller. Assemblywoman Monroe Moreno. Assemblywoman Mosca. Assemblywoman Newby. Assemblyman Wynn. Assemblyman O'Neill. Assemblyman Orentlicker. Assemblywoman Peters. Assemblywoman Summers Armstrong. Assemblywoman Taylor. Assemblywoman Thomas. Assemblywoman Torres. Assemblyman Watts. Assemblyman Urick. Speaker Yeager.
Here. Assemblywoman Howdigy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May the record reflect that we have 42 members present.
The record shall so reflect there are 42 members present. We do have a quorum. Will the members please rise for the prayer by Bishop Deborah Herderer from the Grand Canyon Synod of the Evangelical Lutheran Church of America.
Spirit of love, who moves with creation, drawing the threads to color and design life into life, you knit together this nation. Come work with us and weave us into one. Though we have frayed the fabric of your making, tearing away from all that you intend, yet to be whole, humanity is aching. Come work with us and weave us into one. Great loom of God, where history is woven, you are the frame that holds us to truth. Love is the theme, the pattern that you have given. Come work with us and weave us into one. Thank you for these elected officials who have answered the call to serve the people of Nevada. Give them a good dose of wisdom, charity, justice, and hope as they serve faithfully and promote the common good. Amen.
Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Order of Business 2, reading and approval of the journal.
Carson City, Thursday, February 9, 2020.
Assemblywoman Howdigy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that further reading of the journal be dispensed with and the Speaker and Chief Clerk be authorized to make the necessary corrections and additions.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. Order of Business 8, motions, resolutions, and notices.
Assembly Resolution 4, introduced by the Committee on Legislative Operations and Elections, providing for the appointment of additional attaches for the Assembly. Resolved that this resolution becomes effective upon adoption. End of resolution.
Assemblywoman Gorlow.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the adoption of AR4.
Assemblywoman Gorlow has moved for the adoption of AR4. Any remarks? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Notice of exemption, February 9, 2023. The Fiscal Analysis Division, pursuant to Joint Standing Rule 14.6, has determined the exemption of Assembly Bills 415, 80, 128, and 130. And the Fiscal Analysis Division, pursuant to Joint Standing Rule 14.6, has determined the eligibility for exemption of Assembly Bills 37, 38, 69, 72, 114, and 138. Sarah Kaufman, Fiscal Analysis Division.
Assemblywoman Howdigy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the persons as set forth on the Nevada Legislature's press accreditation list of February 13th, 2023 be accepted as accredited press representatives, that they be assigned space at the press table in the Assembly chamber, and that they be allowed the use of appropriate broadcasting facilities, and the list be included in this day's journal.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. We'll go to order of business 9, introduction, first reading, and reference of bills.
Assembly Bill 144, introduced by Assemblyman LaRue Hatch et al., an act relating to lighting products prohibiting the sale, offer to sell, or distribution of compact fluorescent lamps and linear fluorescent lamps, authorizing the Director of the Office of Energy within the Office of the Governor to take certain actions to investigate possible violations, authorizing the Director or his or her designee to conduct certain inspections, authorizing the Director to adopt certain regulations, providing a civil penalty, and providing other matters properly laid thereto.
Assemblyman Watts.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Assembly Bill 144 be referred to your Committee on Growth and Infrastructure.
Without objection, so referred.
Assembly Bill 145, introduced by Assemblywoman Marzola, an act relating to crimes increasing the penalties for a customer who unlawfully engages in prostitution or solicitation, therefore removing a duplicative provision in existing law relating to prostitution and providing other matters properly in there too.
Assemblywoman Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that we refer Assembly Bill 145 to your Committee on Judiciary.
Without objection, so referred.
Assembly Bill 146, introduced by Assemblywoman Marzola, an act relating to information technology, revising the definition of the term video service and providing other matters properly in there too.
Assemblywoman Marzola.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Assembly Bill 146 be referred to your Committee on Commerce and Labor.
Without objection, so referred.
Assembly Bill 147, introduced by Assemblywoman Marzola, an act relating to dentistry, requiring dental hygienists and dental therapists to comply with certain requirements governing the provision of health care, requiring certain providers of dental care to receive training on teledentistry, prescribing certain requirements relating to the secure storage of electronic records, providing for the issuance of special endorsements for a dentist, dental hygienist, or dental therapist to administer immunizations, imposing certain requirements relating to the administration of immunizations by the holder of such an endorsement, deeming certain conduct by a provider of dental care to be unprofessional conduct, authorizing the imposition of disciplinary action against a dental hygienist or dental therapist for certain violations, requiring hospitals and issuers of Medicaid managed care plans to take certain measures to ensure access by recipients of Medicaid to teledentistry, requiring a public or private school or child care facility to accept a dental examination, screening, or assessment provided through teledentistry for certain purposes, imposing certain requirements relating to the provision of services through teledentistry, providing penalty, and providing other matters properly in there too.
Assemblywoman Marzola.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Assembly Bill 147 be referred to your Committee on Commerce and Labor.
Without objection, so referred.
Assembly Bill 148, introduced by Assemblywoman Marzola, an act relating to child welfare, prescribing qualifications for magistrates who make certain determinations concerning child custody, providing for the appointment of a guardian ad litem for an incapacitated parent or other person responsible for the welfare of a child in certain child welfare proceedings, revising the titles of certain officials appointed to oversee proceedings concerning juveniles and child support, prescribing the procedure for the judicial review of the placement of a child who is in the custody of an agency which provides child welfare services in a qualified residential treatment program, revising the procedures governing the court-ordered admission of such a child who has an emotional disturbance to certain psychiatric facilities and the release of such a child from such a facility and providing other matters properly in there too.
Assemblywoman Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Assembly Bill 148 be referred to your Committee on Judiciary.
Without objection, so referred.
Assembly Bill 149, introduced by Assemblywomen Brittany Miller and Anderson, an act relating to education, creating the Office of the Inspector General of Education and the position of Inspector General of Education, setting forth the powers and duties of the Inspector General and employees of the office, requiring certain persons and governmental entities to cooperate with and provide assistance to the Inspector General in carrying out those duties, prohibiting retaliation against certain persons who make a lawful complaint concerning fraud, waste, abuse, or corruption within a person or governmental entity that receives public money related to education, prohibiting certain acts to deter or prevent the Inspector General or an employee of the office from performing his or her duty, imposing increased penalties for certain acts of assault or battery on the Inspector General or an employee of the office, providing penalties and providing other matters properly in there too.
Assemblywoman Bilbray Axelrod.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Assembly Bill 149 be referred to your most excellent Committee on Education.
Without objection, so referred.
Assembly Bill 150, introduced by Assemblywoman Anderson et al., an act relating to education revising provisions requiring the Board of Regents of the University of Nevada to grant certain waivers of fees just for certain students who are Native American and providing other measures appropriately in there too.
Assemblywoman Bilbray Axelrod.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to refer Assembly Bill 150 to your most excellent Committee on Education.
Without objection, so referred.
Assembly Bill 151, introduced by Assemblyman Anderson et al., Senators Canizaro et al., an act relating to special license plates, providing for the issuance of special license plates commemorating the 150th anniversary of the founding of the University of Nevada, Reno, exempting the special license plates from certain provisions otherwise applicable to special license plates, and providing other measures appropriately in there too.
Assemblyman Watts.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Assembly Bill 151 be referred to your industrious Committee on Growth and Infrastructure.
Without objection, so referred.
Assembly Bill 152, introduced by the Committee on Ways and Means, an act making an appropriation to restore the balance in the reserve for statutory contingency account and providing other measures appropriately in there too.
Assemblywoman Monroe Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Assembly Bill 152 be referred to your Committee on Ways and Means.
Without objection, so referred.
Assembly Bill 153, introduced by Assemblywoman Marzola, an act relating to naturopathy, requiring napropaths to comply with certain requirements, establishing the Naturopathic Practice Advisory Board, providing for the regulation of the practice of naturopathy by the State Board of Osteopathic Medicine, prohibiting the unlicensed practice of naturopathy except in certain circumstances, prescribing the requirements for the issuance and renewal of a license to practice naturopathy, providing for the collection of certain information, prescribing certain requirements governing the practice of naturopathy, authorizing the State Board of Osteopathic Medicine to take certain actions to investigate and impose discipline against a naturopath, prescribing certain duties and authority of a naturopath, establishing a privilege for certain confidential communications, providing penalties, and providing other matters properly in there too.
Assemblywoman Marzola.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Assembly Bill 153 be referred to your Committee on Commerce and Labor.
Without objection, so referred.
Assembly Bill 154, introduced by Assemblyman Peters et al., Senator Krasner, an act relating to tissue donation, requiring the State Board of Health to regulate the living donation of birth tissue, requiring an organization that processes birth tissue to be certified, providing penalty, and providing other measures appropriately in there too.
Assemblywoman Peters.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Assembly Bill 154 be referred to your Committee on Health and Human Services.
Without objection, so referred.
Assembly Bill 155, introduced by Assemblyman Peters and Orentlicher, an act relating to healthcare, establishing the task force on precision medicine and biomarker testing, prescribing the membership and duties of the task force, establishing the March on Precision Medicine and Biomarker Testing Awareness Month, requiring policies of health insurance to include coverage of biomarker testing in certain circumstances, establishing certain conditions relating to such required coverage, making an appropriation, providing for a study of certain matters relating to precision medicine and biomarker testing, and providing other matters appropriately in there too.
Assemblywoman Peters.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Assembly Bill 155 be referred to your Committee on Health and Human Services.
Without objection, so referred.
Assembly Bill 156, introduced by the Committee on Health and Human Services, an act relating to substance use disorders, establishing the order in which a provider or program is required to prioritize persons for participation in certain publicly funded programs for the treatment of alcohol or other substance use disorders, prescribing certain requirements to ensure the access of offenders or prisoners who have been diagnosed with an opioid use disorder to medication-assisted treatment and the continuation of such treatment upon the release or transfer of such offenders or prisoners, prohibiting certain discrimination regarding such treatments, prescribing certain requirements concerning the diagnosis and treatment of person with an opioid use disorder, and providing other matters appropriately in there too.
Assemblywoman Peters.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Assembly Bill 156 be referred to your Committee on Health and Human Services.
Without objection, so referred.
Assembly Bill 157, introduced by Assemblywoman Taylor et al., Senator Spearman, an act relating to sex trafficking, revising the penalties for the crime of living from the earnings of a prostitute, providing penalty, and providing other means appropriately in there too.
Assemblywoman Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Assembly Bill 157 be referred to your Committee on Judiciary.
Without objection, so referred. Go next to Order Business 13, unfinished business of the preceding day. There being no objections, the Speaker and the Chief Clerk will sign Assembly Concurrent Resolution Number 2. Order Business 15, remarks from the floor. Assemblywoman Cohen.
Order of Business 15.
Order Business 15.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today in the legislature is Tourism Day in Nevada, and I will ask that you hold this proclamation. With me today is Brenda Scolari, the Director of the Department of Tourism, and we have a proclamation in the legislature, and I'm going to read a brief part of it. In 2021, Nevada welcomed more than 43.2 million visitors who directly spent $39.4 billion across Nevada's economy. These are two of many statistics that demonstrate why tourism means more. As Chief Marketing Officer for Tourism, the Department of Tourism's mission is to effectively promote statewide tourism to enhance the economic vitality of Nevada. It is a mission the department does not take lightly, as tourism employs more than 355,000 people who rely on it for their livelihood, a number that represents 19.3% of all jobs in the state. Tourism doesn't just affect metropolitan areas. The Department of Tourism is seeing more and more visitors take road trips through the state, stopping at our rural destinations to experience all Nevada has to offer. Funded solely by 3/8 of 1% of state lodging tax, the Department of Tourism works to defend, strengthen, and expand the industry year after year. Furthermore, the Department of Tourism is one of the only state entities to generate money for the general fund each year without drawing any money off it. To learn more about the impact of tourism on our great state, please visit the booths located on the second and third floor atriums, also on the first floor. Again, joining us is Brenda Scolari, the Director of the Department of Tourism. Additionally, there are tourism partners from throughout the state sitting with members and also in the gallery, and I'd ask that those people please stand to be recognized. Please make them feel welcome.
Assemblywoman Summers Armstrong.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is Black History Month, and one of the things that we know is that our legislature is mostly women, and I would like to spotlight an amazing Black woman who has done some amazing things in this country that you may not know a lot about. Her name is Marian Wright Edelman, and she is the founder and President Emerita of the Children's Defense Fund. Edelman graduated from Spelman College as valedictorian. She went on to study law at Yale Law School, where she was the John Hay Whitney Fellow and earned a Bachelor's of Law in 1963. Later, she became the first African-American woman admitted to the bar in Mississippi. She then took on civil rights cases, and in 1968, she was selected by Dr. Martin Luther King as counsel for the Poor People's Campaign. In 1969, Ms. Edelman helped lead the White House Conference to expand Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Programming, better known as SNAP, and the National School Lunch Program, as well as establishment of the Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children, better known as WIC. From 1971 to 73, Edelman was the director of the Harvard University Center for Law and Education before she founded and became the president of CDFE in 1973. Just a little bit of American history for you to know. Thank you.
Assemblywoman Hanson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for the indulgence. A little homework assignment in honor of Tourism Day. Raise your hand if you've been to Austin, Nevada. Woo, look at that. Well, it's my honor to introduce Dee, if you'll stand up, Dee Helming, who has a wonderful long history in Austin, Nevada. 42 years. She was the former director of the Chamber of Commerce. Yes, they have a Chamber of Commerce in Austin, Nevada, for 23 years. And she is now the chairman of the Pony Express Territory, which is extremely appropriate considering Highway 50 is part of that, as part of Travel Nevada's territories. She owns a bed and breakfast in Austin and has just opened one in Kingston. And so she's a vital member of the community. I think a lot of you know I covered 33,000 square miles in Nevada, and thank heavens Lander County is one of them. And she has been vital to me in being able to stay connected to that community. So if you'd please help me welcome her, and then make sure you visit Austin again.
Assemblywoman Gallant.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So today I'd like to introduce my husband. I know you guys got to meet him on the first day, but this is Paul Gallant. You have to stand up. Okay. He asked me not to introduce him again because he's very quiet and humble, but he is the owner of Guardian Realty along with me, and as well as Gallant Construction. And being the strong man he is, he made me 51% ownership on both companies. But he is probably the most talented contractor and creative builder I've ever seen. And he's, again, very humble, so he would never brag. So that's my job. So please welcome him today, because he's, gets to see what this is actually all about. Thank you.
Assemblywoman LaRue Hatch.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I would like to introduce my guest today, which is President Mark Bassett, who is the president of the Nevada Northern Railway Foundation in Ely, Nevada. And he has been telling me all about their tremendous complex and all of the trains and the national and international recognition that they have gotten. And he is famous to all of you for both the train calendar and the calendar with Dirt the Cat. And Dirt, oh yeah, we can clap for Dirt the Cat. I think that's very fair. Dirt recently passed, but Dirt Jr. is still with us and still holding down the fort. So please welcome him to the assembly.
Assemblyman Gurr.
Obviously, Mr. Speaker, thank you, but you don't have to double tap the mic thing to make it work. My guest this morning is Mr. Tom Lester. He's been a resident of Elko for 30 years. I think that's 1992. He has been happily married for 35 of those years, and he has 2 kids and 7 grandchildren. But he's here today in his capacity as the tourism director of the Elko Convention and Visitors Authority, a position he's held for 19 years. He's won many awards for his outstanding service not only to Elko, but to other communities, both rural and urban, throughout Nevada. He was awarded the Larry J. Friedman Award in 2019, and in 2009, he was awarded the Nevada State Volunteer Tourism Award. He's currently the chair of Cowboy Country Territory, which is almost as large as District 33, except in an east-west, not north-south direction. So somewhere in the vicinity of 46,000 square miles. He's just been appointed as the Nevada Tourism Commission. I'd like you to welcome him this morning.
Assemblyman Gray.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker. And it is afternoon now. I'd like to take a chance real quick to just introduce my friend Tom Hendricks. He was recently elected to the Lyon County School Board. There we go. And you'll see my reason for confusion here in just a second. His wife was just appointed to the Lyon County Board of County Commissioners to replace me. So him and his wife are just a great team, fighting for their community, fighting for students, and fighting for parents. And I am so honored and privileged to have him here with us today. Thank you, sir.
Assemblyman Koenig.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to introduce my 2 distinguished guests today. I'll start with Councilwoman Kelly Frost, who serves on the Fallon City Council. Kelly and I went to school together. I've known her since I was a little kid. I graduated with her younger brother. Next to her is Jane Moon, who is the Director of Tourism and Special Events for the City of Fallon. And I've known Jane just about as long, and great people, and welcome here, and thank you for letting me introduce them.
Assemblyman Urich.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am pleased to introduce this morning my guest, my new friend, and Chief Gemologist, Melissa Clary. She is the founder of the Friends of Gem Theater, which is a local nonprofit that is organized to restore the 1937 Gem Theater in my colleague's Assembly District 33 in Pioche, Nevada. And I hope that you would help her feel welcome as well. Thank you.
Assemblywoman Anderson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Order Business 15.
Order Business 15.
Thank you. I would just like to introduce the guest that I have today, Charles Harris, President and CEO of the Reno Sparks Tahoe Convention and Visitor Authority, and Ben McDonald, the Senior Director of Communications and Public Affairs. They're always celebrating the Reno Sparks area, so please make them feel welcome. Thank you.
Assemblyman O'Neill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's my honor today to introduce David Peterson, who's head of the Carson City Board of Tourism, and offer to you during your free time, particularly on weekends. We have the Mint, we have railroad museums, we have the prison actually now, and so many other things to offer to you. Anyway, Mr. Peterson's been 4 years as head of the Board of Tourism here in Carson City. Before that, he served with Governor Sandoval as the director of the Department of Cultural Affairs. He is a immigrant from Minnesota, may I say, but the last 22 years, he's been in Nevada and has been told to me so many times, a few more years you can call yourself a Nevadan. Please make him feel welcome, and thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Assemblyman Watts.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am joined today on the floor by Kyle Horvath and his daughter Mia. Kyle is the Executive Director of White Pine County Tourism. White Pine is a great destination, home to Nevada's only national park, as well as many great recreational amenities, biking, hiking, and of course the Northern Nevada Railway Museum. So we're excited to have you all. Hope folks get a chance to go and explore all the wonderful parts of this state, and please make my guests feel welcome.
Do we have any other order of business 15? I think we've introduced everybody, best I can tell. So we will go to Assemblywoman Howdigi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Some announcements for the floor. Today is Tourism Day at the Legislature. You will find displays at the front foyer and on the second floor. There is also a Lutheran Engagement and Advocacy in Nevada luncheon in room 3100 until 2 p.m. Tomorrow is Nevada Tribes Day at the Legislature. Activities will be in room 3100 from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and displays will be in the front foyer. There is also a motional happy hour reception tomorrow from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. at Fox Brewery. Mr. Speaker, seeing no other business, I move that we stand adjourned until Tuesday, February 14th at the hour of 11:30 a.m.
Assemblywoman Howdigi has moved that the Assembly stand adjourned until Tuesday, February 14th at the hour of 11:30 a.m. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. We are adjourned.